One, welcome back, you silly people, to the Hazmat Guys Roundtable. Man, we are here. Thank God for the two guests we got here, Sam and Tyler, because everybody else did on me.
That was me last time.
Yeah, these are the two guys that were supposed to be on last week. Technical issues, but that doesn't matter. We got them on this time. Come on, it's only Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oklahoma. I like that. I'm gonna start using that constantly. Oklahoma. Oh, we got Joe Perez. We got a whole bunch of people here. That's cool. Awesome. So I want to introduce who these two guys are because I'm not backed up my cohorts, but that's all right. Tyler Broughton, good friend. Seen him out there a bunch of times. Tell me who you are.
Yeah, just Region 7 Seaburn Unit Hazmat, Tulsa Fire Department.
That's good enough.
Got kicked out there. You know what I mean? Voluntold.
Sam, who are you?
Sam Shanks. I'm with Glenpool Fire Department. I'm just south of Tyler's district. His crew's not, 6-7 miles from me, but we're running about a 26 to 30 square mile section. Been a captain for quite some time and about 31 years in the service.
I love it. You're my guy, man. All right, so we have instructor faux pas, which is French for fuck ups. 2. So we got 3 questions, and I like these things because these are like, well, actually, we have 4 questions. I hope to get to all 4. I'll start with Sam. What are some aspects of instruction that you thought are overlooked or not giving enough attention to by instructors?
Ooh, man, that could go on and on.
Yeah, dude, and let it rip, man. Because this is good for instructors.
There was a cat that trained me when I first came in. He was out of Broken Arrow Fire Department. He was absolutely amazing, and if you messed up, you knew it immediately. Like you would get smoked in the back, which I don't know if you can do that anymore, but I mean, he let you know that you made a mistake.
I got a question for you. Did he say it to you like we used to, like where he came to you and said, "Listen, I have a problem with this, and I'm not sugarcoating this," or did he kind of subtly say it? How did he do it? Like just for context.
No, he would, like, you would feel that bump in your back and he would be in your face and he would tell you where you messed up, but he would explain it. You didn't mess up again. You know what I mean? Like he would square you down right there on the spot, and then you didn't have that problem no more because you knew. I mean, it was like ingrained. And I feel like once some of those guys have left, it's like, and everything's gotten so, I don't know, we call it fuzzy gloved or something, you know, it's just not the same as what it used to be.
Dude, I think when you give a guy a correction, whether it be like, hey, don't turn left. Don't just tell me don't turn left. Tell me why I shouldn't turn left. Like, give me like the context. The context is commonly, it's like, why do I give a shit about this? Like, give me that's the art of today, I think.
Yeah, his name was Bill Halsey. He was like, I don't know, it felt like when I came in, he was like I don't know, kind of a dying breed. There was a few guys that continued on that, but man, when we lost him, it was nuts because he was known across the state for the way his training techniques and just how he handled, you know, when you went into a scene or whatever, like they just didn't build him like him anymore. So it was sad whenever he retired. So, but that's who brought me. And I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh man, back in my day.
No.
But I'm there. Like 30 years to where we are now, it's just totally different. I mean, training today is so different from what it was 30 years ago.
Dude, I always say, like, new ideas aren't always good, and good ideas aren't always new. Right? Like,
I'm with you.
Like the guys that taught me, I'm not going to say we're better. They certainly were not better. they just came at you a very different angle than today. And
Oh.
and the thing is like I learned, okay, but there was a lot of guys that didn't learn. And so I'm looking at the way they did it and the way they're doing it currently and saying, where can we meet that axis and say, you know, can I be a little softer? And trust me, I am not a soft dude. I am not. I come right to the kids and I'm like fist into like chest kind of thing. And my wife's like, calm your shit, like. But at the same time, it's like that whole directional thing is like I'm coming to you. There's no question whether we have a problem or not, and then we can
Yep.
address it. Like we can talk about this. It's cool.
Well, one of the things
You know.
I'm going to say about Sam is
Sorry.
That's all right.
My watchdogs.
It's like, he's like it's very hard. I was very lucky. So like when you're talking about like
Tyler, you got to talk up a little bit. I don't know.
the last instruction, like when you're talking about the last episode, about like I think it's how you grow up in the fire service. Like it's about how you have. I mean, who like grooms you? It's not about. Like it's not about. I mean, it is about traditional stuff and all the stuff's like ingrained in your mind, but it's about who teaches you what. It's about like you be a tough dude with soft hands and like especially now like soft gloves and you can see that, but like you still need to go to work when it's time to go to work, and you have to do it, and
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, if you don't do it, that's it.
I think even some of the the things that instructors glean over. Like one of the things I love to say is like, hazmat instruction is kind of like the I tell you something and you go, okay, I get it. And you go, great, I just lied to you. Here's how it really is. You go, oh, that makes so much more sense. I go, great, because I just lied to you again. Here's how it is now. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. That's amazing. I just lied to you again. And we build up this series of lies, right? So I think that a lot of instructors hide behind monikers, statements. They go, well, it depends. That's a favorite of hazmat instructors. They go, well, hey, Sam, listen, how does this work? And you go, well, it depends. That sets up this paradigm of it's a power paradigm where Sam obviously knows what it depends on, and I obviously don't know what it depends on, and so he's in power, and I'm subservient to it. And so people go, oh shit, all right, I'm out. To which, if you ever face with that one, just say to them, depends on what.
One of the things is like about that. So like I watched that, the episode we were supposed to be on last time. And I'm like, dude, I thrive on when shit goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
I don't want that internet to work. I don't want that part. I try my hardest. I do not want to. I pride myself on not putting a slide on there. Like, and I don't even need a clicker. I don't care. Like, I want to interact, make them feel happy, and I try to like pit two people together and just keep in my pocket. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is like instructors a lot of times teach to the limits of their own instruction abilities. Right? Like let's say you and I'll give you an example as when I got to the end of my career, right? I will tell you anecdotally, you have about 4 years when you retire to when you're expired. That's your shelf life. Your milk, you're going to go bad, and that's the end of it. 4 years, and you're gone. So get your instruction done quickly. Now, what I see is that instructors do what they're comfortable with. So they'll fold back into chemical physical properties, boots, suits, and gloves, scenarios, that kind of stuff, because that's easy and it's not really changing. But what they don't do is new technology, you know, arguments, that kind of stuff. And so they don't feel comfortable coming out of the box and saying, I'm going to challenge you in a different concept of picking your PPE, because they haven't researched it. They haven't stayed up on the conversation. They're kind of
That's what I
comfortable and
love.
they're like, whatever.
That's what I loved about the other episode. You're talking about Cameo. We use Speak WMD. I can pull up anything that you want, like
Love it.
like odor thresholds is something hard to find,
Yeah.
and I can get that on. I can do it right now on my computer. Like I can find that. I can find like like all my glove compatibility, all that stuff, like on my fingertips right here. Boom, boom, boom. You gotta find it. Now trying to move that, trying to tell like a generation that okay, this is where it renders face right here. Okay, so the Bond squads, they dump all their stuff out, right? At the end of the year, they got nitric acid. They said, hey, we need some gloves with nitric acid. And I look over and I said, hey, go get them gloves with nitric acid. And we have a glove legend, right? It's a hazmat team. And I'm like, go find it. Like they go over there and they get the glove legend out. There's an MDT on the rig, right? I just sit there and I thought, how do you we need to be better than that. 100%. And we got PVC, PVA, we got all neoprene, we got all these gloves. I'm like, neoprene, got all these gloves. How do you not So
Yeah.
butyl gloves. I told him, I said, I said, keep butyl gloves in your pocket all the time. And I was like, because they're good for almost anything. So
Yeah. No, it's interesting to see instructors teach to their sweet spot, and instructors that don't keep moving that sweet spot forward are a dying breed. Like you're gonna work your way out of the instruction. I've always said this. I was in special operation. I was in fire. I was in a very busy fire department. But the most lucrative instruction I ever got was hazmat. And if you stay with hazmat and you're like, oh, this is going to carry me for the rest until I'm 80, that's great. You better be a avid reader. You better go into conferences. You better be networking, watching podcasts, doing these things. It's important to stay up and date. So that brings us to our second one. I'll throw it to Sam first. What are some specific strategies or approaches that you found to be particularly effective for engaging students in hazmat? And there's a million. I get that, but like, give me a zingers, man.
I think the best part of it is just the hands-on. I think I'll never forget a class I took. This was a long time ago, and I'm sorry I'm into that long time ago, but we were after lunch over at OSU in Stillwater, and I heard somebody slapping, like slap, and I look back and there's this cat behind me slapping his face, trying to stay awake. It's like the hands-on part of it, I think, is where you get the meat of your training. You know what I mean? Anybody can read, anybody can go through the book, but it's like once those instructors and what the instructors that they have in front of you that have seen it, like yourself, or somebody that's been there, you just get so much more respect. And like people just hang on to that more than if I was standing up and teaching you hazmat. Like I think it's the real life, real world scenarios, from what the weather is to what, what those guys were facing to what chemical it was and all that. I think that's where the meat of this comes from to me. The textbooks take you so far, but there's no weather. There's no, not the real life stuff is in that textbook. So I think it has to go definitely beyond the textbook, and a lot of it to me is the instructor to put that out there for somebody to pick it up.
I love it.
he's like, Sam just got a job.
Tyler, what do you think? What are your little
Same
engagement
thing.
techniques?
Here's the deal, like I want to have a good time. We are in that new generation of teaching. It's like burst learning. Nobody wants to learn about hazmat. Like when I show up and they're like, "Oh, you're a hazmat teacher," I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna learn about hazmat." Like all I got to do is like like I said, I pin them against each other. I find two people. I ask them. I say, "Who? Can you guys hear that? Is that loud?"
I hear a squeak.
Smoke alarm's going off.
Yeah, smoke alarm or
Is that yours?
no, it's you.
Dinner's ready.
Yeah, I know, right? Mama's gone, son. No, but these people, I'm like, what do you like? Just like Sam said earlier, like, what do you want to do? Like, I mean, you can't. I mean, there's multiple times we've sit in classes and done it. So, but I think you just have a good time, get a nugget or two, and then down the road, you're not gonna make it this week. Go ahead, Mom.
No, Tony Ann I'm sorry, Taffy Ann threw in the thing. So I want to know if class, do you not just pick someone to be hands-on, or do you ask for volunteers? Do you, as an instructor, do you call on somebody and say, we're going to do something?
No.
What do you say? Who wants to do it?
Like, just like you, like, so, like when you're on the job. So we do have some ops refreshers, tech refreshers. That's all. Like when I get to the conference, and like I'm like, these people actually paid, or they like came here to see me. I'm like, oh my god. So then that's when I bring the jack in. That's when I give them prize, and I play cahoots, and I play all the stuff with them, and I want them to be engaged in it. I want them to come back next year. I mean, there's like so many things I do. I give them scratch offs. Like there's all kinds of stuff. But like when I do the refresher at Tulsa Fire Department, it's like, oh, you have to be here. And it's like, oh, the coffee sucks. You know, like, oh, everything sucks. Well, I want to make that happy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
think
like, I'm just trying to bring the smile to the party.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I just think I mean hazmat's tough. I mean, you've got guys that's either their heart's in it or they're not. You know, I think the guys like he's talking about the guys that just have to show up to get through it, but you know, you just got to pick all them boys out that's ready to roll. That
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Find the guys that's got it where they're gonna.
but at the same time, I'm going to push back on it a little bit. Is saying that, like, you know, hazmat's tough. It is tough. It's a tough subject to know, but it comes down to an engaging instructor. If you suck as an instructor, you're going to see a lot of your people. Why are all these people? They're looking at their phones. They're looking at the newspapers. You know why? Because you suck. Like if you don't engage with your guys, like you're not going to get it. Like that's the thing is like my strategies for them is eye engagement, humor, reading the room. I constantly watch for eyes. And here's a pro tip for you that's out there. I look at every single person, and I will either get one of two things. When I make eye contact and we're having this conversation because I'm dropping this thing, I get the that's some good stuff. Like this look of like, right? Or I'll get the lemon face, like, right? That means you didn't send it right. Send it again in a different format. Okay. So I'm constantly gauging engagement. I'm constantly gauging engagement, right? So I can see where I am with the class. If you're not doing that, you're not engaging. You're not gauging the gauge.
That might be the first thing is you have to send the basket around, take everybody's phone.
Take it really.
I think that
I'm
would be
down
the
with that.
key. I think that would be the start because I mean I've even done it in class. It's like, man, that's the and it's so like
But dude, you want to
disrespectful.
be, if you want to be pro, let them have the phone and compete with it. If you're that good as an instructor,
It's true.
phones are garbage because people won't look at the phone.
Well, I always tell people like check me, like whatever, like because we'll bring up stuff like I like that first episode of this thing. Like I go off on a rabbit hole, and I do that. That's my fault. I'm like talking about pyramids in Egypt. I'm like, how did they move that 30-ton rock 500 miles? I listen to Joe Rogan, right? I'm like, how did they move that so far? And I'm, you know what I mean? Like, and I get lost in the thing, and I'm like, bring me back, you know, like let's take a break, and then it's done. They come back in, they're like, and the cadets in Tulsa can't have their phones, so they can't like, Google it, and then it eats at them. It just you can see it eating at them. I'm like,
Because they're
when you
used to
go
that
home,
crap. And I'm
if the
down with
worst
that.
thing you're gonna Google is is pyramids from Egypt, I'm like, that's good.
I think that a top tier instructor, if you like, I think there's different steps to being an instructor. Like forget the topic. I don't care if it's hazmat or fire or police or taffy. I don't care what it is. There are engagement styles. Like even if you're a school teacher, like you're a literal school teacher, fifth graders, you're seriously teaching firefighters because firefighters like stickers
Yeah,
and like like stupid things.
big
They
crowds.
love it. They like crafts and art, but you have to contour your stuff. And so if you're a true craftsman of instructing adult learners, then you should get to, okay, I'm going to collect all this stuff. That's cool. And I'm down with that. But if you want to, as an instructor, tweak your craft, give them the phones back and then go and then be like, oh, I saw that I was losing them here. And then be like, why did I lose them there? Maybe because the joke didn't fall right. The fact didn't drop right. If you figure out that formula where you get the crowd and they focus on you, you are unstoppable as an instructor.
That's my favorite thing. Like I said, I want everything. And I set new plans, like teach him that sucks or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, the power went out. Imagine
Remember that?
that. Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing now?
Yeah.
Your timer's going off.
I love it. I don't want to finally come into my house that didn't pay attention but knows how to take my picture. That's true. Thank you, Tony N. That is true. Solely true. All right, let's go to question 3. We'll start with Tyler on this one. What are some of the most rewarding aspects of teaching these subjects, and what instructor behaviors do you think that contribute to that positive learning aspect?
Man, I'll tell you, like a lot of things. Going back to like the number one thing, I think is people don't teach because they're scared about public speaking. They don't have enough confidence in themselves, and you have to like if I'm going to teach a rescue rope class, I need to be on rescue. If I'm going to teach a ladder class, I'm moving ladder. If I need to do this, I need that. Blah blah. Like, go out there. Like I failed law school, right?
Get
And
out of here. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
I end up the firefighter. Yeah. So I'm like, you just get put it out there. I mean, just like be brave, dude. You know, like we have a lot of great dudes. There's a lot of great dudes in the state of Oklahoma that could teach, but I think they're scared about public speaking. But they didn't have like what I grew up with, like with Sam, like up there. I grew up with these dudes. Like these dudes talk to anybody. Brian Wood, Chief Newton, all these dudes. money all the way across the board. And it's like late nights. If you have a question, we said like I sit there with like trying to get my MT. I remember like reading a book and Brian sitting there and I'm like, what about this? What about that? And then I was just talking to Sam. He took me to Subway. You don't remember it, but he take me to Subway in the Grass Creek. I'm like, that's cool. That's what it's about. It's about family. And you get that and you keep pushing because those are your brothers, like honestly. And you think about it.
I
And
love it.
it's actually it's
It's good. Sam, I'm looking for the behaviors. Like, what do you think that are the positive for the instructor to give the student?
I think a lot of it's just the history and their background of them. Like I said, I think a lot of it comes from who the instructor is, what their background is, what they have to offer. I think a lot of guys look into that. Guys come back from class and they'll be like, "Man," I'll be like, "How was it?" And they're like, he kind of got in the weeds on some other stuff, and like, they
But that's
like
an
you said, they
instructor,
lose them.
man. Getting off in the
That's
weeds is cool if the class dictates
that's true.
that we Travis.
hey mommy,
That,
come in here.
that is true. Yeah, and I don't know. In class, like you said, it's tough. It's a different new age. It's totally different from how I brought up through the fire service to what it is now. Like you're just dealing with a totally different animal. So I think a lot of it's I don't know. Maybe you can make a new movie, kind of like Ladder 49 or Backdraft, but make it into hazmat and like kind of put a whole new light on hazmat and the ops of it and what guys go through to get there. I think it would be a cool deal. Maybe that might be what fires everything up.
What the thing, what? I talked about this a few times, but like, this is the thing is that the world is moving on. Like the fact that we're doing, like when me and Sam went to probie school, we had acetate overlays. There was a little projector that was shooting light up and out onto a screen, right? And it
No
was
doubt.
acetating,
No,
right?
that's
And the guy would write shit on the thing, and he might have a little, right? And that was the thing. And we look back at this. Me and Sam look back at this, and we go, "That was archaic." Oh my god!
I got a story about Sam, and he has no idea.
Uh-oh.
So we went to Omogi, and we were doing a firefighter 1 class, and we were doing a main day class. And Sam was the first one to step up in that class, and I'll go first. And I was like, "Damn, that's what you want to captain right there." When he went, you hear that, Sam? You hear that? No, Omogi.
That was
He
a
went
couple of
first.
summers
I
ago.
always think about that. And I was like, it was a green country little thing, firefighter thing. And Sam goes, I'll go first. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Well,
I was like, I'll be right behind him.
Well, that's what you battle now. Like you were saying, me and you, when we started out, like you didn't have the internet like you have now. You didn't have
right.
phones like you have now. You didn't
You
have
didn't
all
have
that.
that.
Like, so that instructor, you were spot on with him because like he's the one that knew. He had the holy grail. Like,
But the thing is like, okay, we're like Sam. I'm guessing between us girls, you're hanging it up soon. Like I just hung it up. I'm sure you're hanging it up soon. Well, when that happens, like the next generation is not learning the way on we transitioned out of acetate overlays and we went into PowerPoints. For anybody out there that's an instructor that's listening to this whole thing and saying, "Oh, well, PowerPoint is forever. You're out of your bird." This
Yeah.
is how it is. You're going to be teaching on your phones. Look at where the new generation is going. Get savvy in it and do that. Get amazing as an instructor in
No
their
doubt.
medium that they're going to go. They're going to go on phones. So if you're saying, well, I ain't doing it, I don't agree with it. I'm not going to phones because I don't get. Nobody gives a shit what you think. I hate to say it that way, but nobody cares what you think. They want it, you will build it. Period. As an instructor, you're going that way. That's just what it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
No,
That's
I believe that 100%.
I don't know about like when you
That
started. My
go ahead, Sam.
I was thinking that the other day. I was like, man, you take 30 years, and I come into the department when we were still riding tailboards. Like
Yeah,
we
we
were
were
the
tailboards,
last.
man.
We were the last department in this area
No
still riding
pants. We didn't have
tailboards.
pants. No
we had
woods.
we had pants, but we were on tailboards, and it's like I think that's not that long ago. But and then you come into where we are now, and you've got people with all these chemicals that's in their houses, and like they're building. Like if these people put more into doing what they're supposed to be doing than building all this stuff, chemicals and drugs and all this, like them people could be working in some lab somewhere making millions of dollars, and it's like it's just such a different time. Like you just don't even know what you're up against.
Yeah.
So it's a different world.
It's even terminology. Like like and I'll probably wrap it up on this one is that you talk about like no cap to a new kid means I'm not lying.
Yeah.
No cap to cap to a kid that grew up in the 90s means I'm not gonna bust a cap in your ass. Right? Somebody that grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s means how do you do, ladies? It's the cap. It's something you put in your head.
Okay.
There is
Oh, here you
3
go.
different definitions for cap, and like the silliness of us saying that our PowerPoints, our slide decks, our
I thought this
methodologies.
was-
What the hell is that? Is that a man
What?
bun? Oh my god, I don't even know. What
Yeah,
that
I thought this was. Yeah, I thought this was my cue.
All right.
All right, you look like a genie, like a
What's your
like
wish, man?
oh
like it.
Lord.
Perfect.
Sam's like, he's disappointed. I can see his face.
I'm like, see, that's what happened. That's what happened when I lost him when he went to Tulsa. We're like,
See?
I
man,
love
what
it.
happened?
I should have
I
stayed
love
with you, man.
All right, so I'll wrap it up with this. I'll take a positive statement from each one of you guys. What is your advice for an instructor? What do you give them for their positive? I don't know, positive movement. What do you think? Get their experience. What is your advice to them going forward as an instructor in hazmat? Sam, go first.
I would say. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Ah, man, that is a tough one. I think the biggest thing is just try to relate to each firefighter when you're teaching, as far trying to figure out, get to know them, as much as you can up front, and then just you're more or less just another brother to them, and let them know that when you open up to them, and hopefully they'll open up to you and accept, what you have to offer. And but there again, it's just a tough audience. But that would be, I would just try to treat them like they're one of my guys in my department, and let them know that, hey, I'm here to help, and we fight the same fires, they burn the same temperature. It's a lot of that. So I feel like, different departments and bigger departments to smaller departments, there's a big difference there. And you know uh, just kind of letting them know that we're all on the same team is
I
a big
love
one
that.
for me.
I love it. That's good shit, man. That's good stuff. I like that. Tyler.
Sam's amazing. Well, that's what I mean. That's what I grew up with. I grew up with these great guys. I don't know if you could put a better group together with Chief Newton, Captain Shanks was with me. I had Ryan Wood. I had all these guys. They just kind of laid the foundation for me. And it's firefighting, it's forcible entry, it's everything. And then you get like a specialty, and then how are you not going to succeed in that, right? Because you've already been taught how to do all of these things, and so it's like, you know, we got little certificates, drivers like driver training on the lab. I'm like, oh man, I remember taking it home to mama, like, oh look, I can drive the ladder. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Big Sam, like we did it just you work hard for people you love, you know what I mean?
I love that.
And it's
I
just
love it.
you can't beat that, man.
I love that. My thing would be walk the walk. Walk the walk. Like if you're gonna say this is how we operate, do it. Don't say it. Do it. That's harder than it sounds. It sounds like, oh well, that means during the day tour, stay awake. Be available for questions. Be available for questions like that are deep, that require research, and don't just pass it off, and don't just be the guy. Like
One of the things
you
is
do it.
very important. Like we had a car wreck in the ice, and Sam was out there. I knew, like, I gotta go back for Sam. I don't care about who's in the car. I just want to go back for him. And it's snow on the ground. You remember that, Sam?
Mhm.
But I knew we had to go back because I don't want him to lose a guy. So that's the brotherhood that is like built into that place. It's gonna work every time.
I love the brotherhood thing. I'm down with that. But I don't want guys to think, well, the brotherhood will take care of me. As
Exactly.
I so
Wait, me and him are
you
different. Me
need
and him are
to
different.
be
This
the
it's
guy.
right. It's
Yeah,
different.
no, you need to be the guy. You need to be the dude. You need to be the guy out front. The brotherhood's great. They get back. But the back only comes up with a dude. The front guy isn't
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
You know, so
I like
like
Yeah.
I
You just
appreciate
gotta have
you
the dudes
guys.
to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming on. I hope you guys will come on again
You bet.
very shortly.
No, I appreciate it.
I got
We got
Tyler
episode 3,
Broughton.
right?
Yeah, listen, Tyler and I got Sam. You guys rock. You guys are the best. I thank you for coming on. And yeah, that's it.
Look
We'll
forward
talk.
to it, man. Appreciate it.
You guys don't suck. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Bye.